In his statement to the police, Joe Brown, a 52-year-old clerical officer in the civil service, said that the story really started on January the 4th, the morning the postman delivered some particularly crucial mail. It was the usual problem: unpaid bills, a rate demand, a car repair account accompanied by a polite notice from the firm's solicitor saying 7 days or else, and a letter from the finance company saying that a repayment on the washing machine was in arrears. If only he had talked it out with Beth, his wife, it might have helped, but he kept his financial worries to himself. Keith, their son, was callous, uncooperative, and contributed little to the family housekeeping. He was self-centered and cared for nothing but himself. There was never a word spoken at the breakfast table. Pity might have been better if things had been discussed, and probably a lot of Keith's trouble was his mother. She would fuss him, still looked upon him as a small boy, not a grown man of 20.
Oh yes, nothing much.
Bye-bye, don't be late.
Shan't be late now. Bye-bye.
Beth, in her caring way, paid a daily call on Charlie Smith, who lived next door. He was a cantankerous old pensioner, but he secretly enjoyed all the fussing she gave him.
Money in here. This ought to be in the bank instead of stuck in an old pot.
You leave that alone. It's been there a long time. That's all right.
Well, all right. I'll put it back. But you get that into the bank at the earliest possible moment. It's just not safe there. Well, I'm off now, Charlie. Now, don't you forget, put that money in the bank as soon as you can.
All right.
That's all right, but it's just not safe.
Oh, don't nag.
Charlie was stupid to have all that cash in his house, and little was he to know that Beth would mention it over the supper table.
There's no need for anybody to have anything like that laying about the house these days.
Well, it'll go one of these days, that's for sure.
Serves him right.
After the meal, Joe set off for the club as he usually did on a Wednesday night, for a pint and a game of snooker. Keith went out every night and never told his parents where he was going or who he was going to meet. out in the road, Joe met his friend Jim, who was out walking the dog.
Ah, well, anyhow, we're all weather, isn't it?
Yeah. How's keeping?
Back in the kitchen, Beth set to on the week's ironing, and while she was busy, got worried by a strange noise that was coming from next door. Normally, Charlie was so quiet. Disturbed, she went to look for Charlie's door key, but it was gone. Rather in a panic, she ran out and was glad to see Jim. She asked him to go with her to Charlie's. They found the front door open.
Oh my God, I knew something of that sort of happened.
Keith Roger Brown, you are charged with murder. How do you plead?